Good morning, folks. What a great day it is today. Isn't it great to be alive? Fantastic. Listen, I've just spent about an hour listening to Muhammad Ali. Do you know Muhammad Ali, the boxer that won 3 world titles? Well, they've had a program on YouTube called This Is Your Life, and they had him on there and surprised him with all his relations and his boxing sparring partners and everything. And Muhammad Ali has always been a mentor of mine because I love his attitude. You know, I'm the greatest. There's nobody better than me, and I believe that. I believe that if you say that I'm the greatest, you will become the greatest because you're talking to your subconscious mind. You're telling yourself what you're going to do, and you're doing with enthusiasm as Muhammad Ali did, and he won 3 world titles. Not so much with his skill as a boxer, but his ability to convince himself that he was the greatest. And I'm going to be talking about personal self-development in another part of my video when I get to that. Okay, where were we up to? Part 3. Ford V8 car. When Dad and Mum sold the car, they bought a new car. Sold the farm, sorry. They bought a new car. And it was the 1938 Ford V8, a black one. And I learned to drive the thing. I loved driving the car, and I was only 15 when I got my license. You were able to get your license when you're 15, and I went along there all full of confidence. And the policeman jumped in the car and he said, "What's wrong with the windscreen?" Because the windscreen was broken on his side. Inside there was a big crack in it. And he said, "You'll have to get that fixed." I said, "Oh yeah, we'll get it fixed one day." Anyway, he took me for a drive, and I drove good, backed up, and did everything like that, because I've been driving tractors for a long time. And anyway, he said to me, "I'm going to have to ask you some questions. How fast do you travel past the school bus?" And I thought, oh, well, 30 miles an hour would be fast enough. But you see, the guy didn't tell me it was a stationary school bus. And he said, "Have you got a road code?" I said, "No, what's that?" He said, "Well, it's a book. It teaches you the rules." He said, "You better get a road code and come back and see me." So I did that. I studied up the road code and I got my driver's license. A lot of things happened to that old car. I remember sister buying a new vacuum cleaner, and she was scouting about this new vacuum cleaner, and I read the instructions, and you could paint with it. You could turn it around the other way so it blew, and you could paint with it. So I painted the Ford V8 black, and God, I got more paint over the vacuum cleaner than I did over the car. Yeah, the car was always breaking down. I went to a party and had a girlfriend at school. We took a shine to me, and she asked me to her 16th birthday, and I insisted on going in the car. Someone wanted to pick me up, and I said, no, I'll drive my dad's car, my Ford V8, thinking I'd get a bit of a cuddle later on, you know. And the bloody thing broke down. I never got to there, not there. Loma, I think her name was Loma Coleman. Someone might know her. Okay, another guy, a famous person, Denny Holm. He become the world champion Grand Prix driver. He used to follow us in the school bus, a little MG, and he used to follow us in the school bus, and we'd all look out the back of the school bus and, oh, look at Denny Holm. Yeah. Anyway, what happened then? We moved away from Tipuki, and we moved to a place called Pikawai near Matata. Dad got a job manager of the government block, 2,000 acres. And it was a long way from the school bus. So I had to ride a push bike a long way to catch the bus. And I was buggered night and morning, God almighty. I got a motorbike in the finish with a push bike, put a motor on the push bike, and that didn't work very good. You wore out the tyres all the time. But anyway, I got a job milking cows. I've milked 100 cows night and morning. My friend name was Alan Mumford, and he had a sister too, Beryl Mumford. She had the hots for me. But anyway, we used to milk these cows night and morning, and for my board, I wouldn't have to pay any board, and it was handy to the school. My first job when I left school was a shepherd on the station. Dad got me a job as a shepherd, and I had 10 dogs and two horses. I used to go around the rodeos and do the rodeo riding and stuff like that. Also, I was a tractor driver. They had a little Fergie tractor, and I used to do the tractor driving on this sheep station. And one day, I rolled the tractor. Yeah. I pulled the tractor up, went through the gate, pulled the tractor up, jumped off the tractor, went back to shut the gate, looked around, and the Fergie tractor was going down the hill. I thought, geez, I'm not going to jump on it. So I let it go, and it went down into the gully, and had a trailer load of posts on it, and wire and everything, and bouncing up and down. What a spectacular view it was. But anyway, it was a mess, a wreck. Geez, did I get a growly. Nearly got the sack. But I didn't. We learned deer stalking and pig hunting. Yep. I learned how to go deer stalking. I did the roaring, roar, and get the deer to come up to you and all that stuff. Pig hunting, had the dogs. We used to catch the pigs, and we'd tip them over, grab them by the back leg and stick them with a knife, and then stand there and watch them bleed to death. Pretty terrible things we did to those animals in those days. But there's one thing I did, and I've rued myself for this day. Ever since I did this thing. I did this thing, and it was a terrible thing, and I'm going to tell you about it now. But I'm going to stop this video because it's a video on its own, and I'll tell you what happened just in a minute. Okay? So go and have a cup of tea, and I'll be back shortly.